Alright, this is Tom Eckert coming back at you from Sisemore Weisz Associates Studios, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Beautiful day out there. Wanted to just go over a screencast for producing a quick animation feature, specifically for our friends down at Southern Crushed Concrete down in Houston, but more generally for some of the questions that I get asked on the options for creating an animation. So two different things. We are here. We're back in our pilot project with General Materials, and in Pix4d you can select a map view, which would give you the street maps. The drop down will also let you go to a satellite view. This is just the background imagery of a streaming. I believe it's OpenStreetMap is the imagery that comes in. So we're going to do a little bit of review. We have our ray cloud. This is the ray cloud. If you turn on your cameras, these are the positions. We also have rays, and our end game is going to be the animation trajectories, and these are objects that gets created. If you turn on here, look down here, the animation trajectory are just a flight path. This particular one starts with the blue, comes in here, this is a tag point, and then just follows a particular trajectory. So we've got a couple of them in there. I want to go from start to finish on what it looks like. Just by way of review, if you've got your triangle meshes on, then they will paint particular surfaces. They will, you've got some black out here. Good example what the mesh does. Here's a vehicle with the hatchback open, so it doesn't look as bad. But the mesh, what the mesh does is, I don't have any data there, so I'm going to fill it in with something that is going to be hopefully pleasing to the eye. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. We can tell the door is open on this particular vehicle, though. Here, you can look inside of it. I don't know. There's 50-50 on the triangle meshes. If they're not on, you can see through it. Here you've got the point cloud. Just by way of review on the display properties, I use the spherical points. You can go to the align quads and get your little stand-up pixels. I tend to enjoy the spherical points. They just seem to be a little more soothing. And just one last commercial for the thermal view on being able to see what is in the generated point cloud. So going back to that, we're going to be looking at a quick animation trajectory. There's two different types. Both of them are accessed from the same menu. I'm going to go into planimetric. Let's put north too. This is actually where north is on the site. And this button here says new video animation. It says here, do you want to use the user recorded view or the computed camera positions? If we hit computed camera positions and hit next, it's going to create 195 waypoints. And what those are is we tell it how long we want it to fly. In this case, we'll say maybe 4 minutes. We'll say maybe 240 seconds is a good start on that one. We can give it maximum speed. It's going to be called an animation trajectory 2. We had finished. This little use interpolation is going to smooth out the video. It's a tweening process that happens, and what it does then is creates a new trajectory, and this is actual flight path. So blue is where it starts, like we saw before, and you notice that the arrow is the azimuth that it's pointing. Now what's amazing about that is every one of the 195 are listed in here as positions and waypoints, and you can change the kappa angle for individual, and you can get really Hollywood on some of this stuff on the timestamps and where it goes and how you want to do it. When you hit a playback, here's what it looks like. You're looking over the site. I think this was 175 AGL, I believe, is what we were flying it at. And it's not bad. It's showing the yaw correction that has to be applied to each one. This is a 3DR solo that's flying through the air and having a hard time just staying pointed in the right trajectory azimuth. On its transect, it turns and comes back. There's the pile, and pretty easy to do when you hit stop. The ability to export it, when you hit browse, you're going to give it a name. MPEG 4 includes video, number of frames per second. The resolution, I notice a higher resolution when it goes out to YouTube, it has a hard time with the higher resolution. And you want to keep the logo on or off, show the visible area, just different things that are just a setting. So there's your animation trajectory 3, real simple. Hit store. It's there if you want to save it, if you want to play it back. But let's do animation trajectory 4. This is a little bit more fun. You click on the new video animation. Instead of the computed camera positions on the flight plan, we want to do a user recorded view. So we hit next, and here it says there's no waypoint. So I'll move this up to the upper corner here, and the instructions are pretty good. It says set the desired position and then click trajectory waypoint, repeat step. So lather, rinse, repeat. Okay, here's what we're doing. So mouse roll in to get a zoom as if you're flying in there, and I hit record trajectory 1, it updates that. I'm holding my center mouse button down to orbit, and a lot of times what I'll do is I'll always go a little bit forward on the orbit. This is where the tween process comes in, that you can always be moving a little bit forward. It makes for a smoother the animation. The trouble is I get always pounded on the fact that I do not have a right brain. So bear with me. Here we are, we're flying through. There's a conveyor belt. What we might want to do is Hollywood this out and go underneath the conveyor belt here and avoid that. And so now we're going to be pretending we're drone racing here. We could have trajectory waypoint on that one. Now I'm left click, hold dragging and motoring through. This is the smoothest flight plan there as I'm coming to the extents. This is a row of bushes. Now I'm holding the center mouse wheel rolled down, moving forward just a little bit, putting a tween point in there. That was 8. You're going to have sort of an arc that comes in through in this type of a manner. Comes in through here, 1 point, the PC, a little bit of a tilt. Let's do a little bit of berm action. I'm holding the right mouse button down to zoom back out and in now. And I'm going to go forward a little bit like that. Hit a trajectory waypoint. Move it. Get down, going down this road. Hit that. Then I realize, wow, I'm at the end of the road. So I'm going to zoom back out. When I project it, it's going to look a little jerky because of that last keystroke. But you can tell where we're at. Maybe we want to zoom in there. Little mouse roller ball. There's a little spoils pile. Anyway, I'm going to hit next. We got 14 waypoints. It says the duration. On 14, I would say let's create maybe a 30-second video, but we don't want to go more than about 30 feet per second. So you can use interpolation. It's going to be 4. We hit finish, and there it is on the screen. What it looks like, the craziness. This is where I hit it. I mouse roller out. There's my omega angle there. As I'm clicking on that, this timestamp, each one of these can be adjusted. I come back in, and this is where I am. So we come up, loop around. It looks a little bit like a roller coaster in Disney World, Orlando, Florida. Just a commercial for Florida visitor tourism. We don't have oil and gas, so we need your tourism dollars. Send money in an envelope if you can't pay to have your family out there and to stay, and hope that you can avoid raindrops during the tourist season, which they don't tell you. The busiest time, it has a tendency to rain. So anyway, I digress. Playback control. Hit this little button here to play. Here's our smoothing out on that. A little bit of a yaw control. We zoom in. Now we're doing a nosedive. And we're going to Top Gun it underneath it. Drone racing is nothing. Hard left, hard left, hard left. There we go. And we're following the road. There's our PIPCTs. Move out. Looks like I smacked the ground there, huh? So I hit stop. I give it a name. Browse it into here. We'll call it Pix4d 111111, whatever. This I would recommend the MP4. It defaults to that. Hit OK. Hit save. Do 30 frames per second. Let's bump it up to 60, and I'm going to drop the resolution down to 1024 24. And the encoding, I'm going to put it as high. The encoding is the number of stripes that it takes. So it says here the visual quality. You can read that. I normally don't display this message again. I left it on for y'all. And it begins to encode, walking through creating the frames. And I will make this media available on the Sisemore website. And appreciate you watching.